Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the sixth round of the Esports division here in Austria at the Red Bull Ring. My name is X1. I am being joined by Jonathan today. Hello.
Hello, how are you, Felix?
Yeah, I'm well, and you? Looking forward to the race?
Yeah, it should be a good one.
Yeah, as of now, we've got 16 drivers. I think a few drivers are still going to be joining midway through qualifying, so the number should go up there. Looks to be pretty dry as well. And if you have a look at the sky, I don't see any massive clouds. I'll ask if anyone can give me a weather report. See if we can see what the weather will be like for the race as well. Right, all dry. Thank you, Cameron. So no rain
Thanks,
for
Darren.
today's race. I'm expecting mostly medium soft, I think, in the race. That's at least that's the strategy I prefer for Austria. But I know that the medium hard or hard medium isn't the difference isn't massive between those two strategies in terms of overall time throughout the race. So it can depend on a lot of factors. Traffic, for example. So it'll be interesting to see what strategies drivers go for, what ends up working the best. But yeah, I think we'll be seeing both strategies at play as, the first one was on a lap here. Well, on an out lap. Thankfully, it's managed to keep out the barrier, Yale, so yeah, gotten away with no damage. The tires are all warm now, so he can just go on his lap as normal. The only ones on track right now are him on the mediums and ASE Hero in on the softs. Everybody else still in the pit lane. So the first lap starting now, gonna break just after the 100 meter board for turn 1. Clip the apex curb out onto the all the way to, but not onto the yellow studded curb at the exit of turn 1. And now down towards turn 2 here, which well, technically is a corner. And now once again the 100 meter board for turn 3, get the car rotated in. Clip the apex curb on the left hand side, goes over the onto the curb on the outside, which normally you don't see people doing. Untilts the car quite a bit and kills traction, but could be a slap difference. Not using the outside curb into turn 4 either. I think he is being a bit cautious right now, just wanting to get a lap, any lap on the board. Especially since on the mediums there's no need to push the absolute maximum and risk a crash. Just trying to get some sort of lap done so he can, yeah, in case anybody else crashes, he will be safe into Q2, at least as of now. Depends, of course, on how many more join. But on the final corner there, the invalidation going out of turn 10, just a bit too far over the curb on the exit, and unfortunately the lap has been invalidated. We'll instead go on board with Hero here. The ASE driver will then be the first to complete a lap. I do quickly have to send an invite to Aaron, so he can get in. Right, invite sent, hopefully you got it. And now here we go, around the final corner. Is he gonna keep it valid? Yes he is, unlike Yale did earlier, and it's a 104.355. So that was the first benchmark here in qualifying 1. Well, of course we can expect those times to be a lot faster come Q2 and 3, as the track evolves. Right now we're on a very green track. Not a lot of grip available, but as these guys lay down some rubber, conditions will improve. There'll be more grip. And yeah, I would expect times to be in the 102s by the end. At least that's what, yeah, based on the times I've seen from some of the guys who are racing here. And there we go, second lap from Pincio. Yeah, 104.4. We've got Chris for TGT as well, going into turn 3 here. Interesting that everybody's in the dry tires immediately. Normally you see some intermediates in use in qualifying 1, but yeah, nobody is bothering with that apparently. And the car rotated very nicely going through turn 4. And now down into the 3rd sector. Through turn 6, onto the curb, uncertain the car a bit, probably to cost him a bit of time. Purple in the middle sector, and now into the final sector. All the way out to the white line, going through turn 7. And into the final 2 corners, the most crucial corners of this lap. Impact now the lorry, there we go, that's another one. And through the final corner, just barely within track limits on both the apex and exit, ends a 103.877 by Chris. 5/10 faster than the previous best in the session. So Chris already putting out a bit of a statement here, and we'll see what the rest of the grid has to answer to that. Apologies for the silence. I'm having to yeah, do some admin work in the while commentating. Bit difficult to juggle it do it both at the same time. I believe the next one starting a lap is the NLR car of Hülkenberg here. There's an Aston Martin looking, but it's Chris going back into the pit lane. So yeah, Hülkenberg. The next one will start a lap. At the moment, nobody in a push lap. Bit of a slide through the final corner. This is in the apex. Not the best start for the lap. Might have cost him a few thousands already. But yeah, not a massive loss. But of course, every single thousand can cost you, especially in an event like this with such small margins. Looking at a 16.0 in the first sector, missing the apex of turn 3 just slightly. Got the power very early, and now Diaz open down towards turn 4. And braking just after the 100 meter board. Gets the car rotated just onto the, clipping the apex curb there of turn 4. And into turn 6 and 7. Just clipping the curb as well. And now over the curb as well on the exit. Just barely within the white lines. Very good driving from Hülkenberg here. We'll see what the lap time is in just a moment. 2 more corners to go. He's got a McLaren up ahead. Hopefully he'll either hurry up a bit or get out of his way. Okay, he's hurried up. We're fine. And Hülkenberg through the final corner. Diaz open to the line. It's going to be a 104.210. Going to second place here. Just, well, about 3.5 tenths behind Chris, I think. I mentioned about the intermediates earlier. We now have Cameron on the intermediates. Meanwhile, Miguel coming up the final corner as well. Hülkenberg's teammate. Can he join him on the front row? He beats him, in fact, a 104.200, exactly 10 thousandths of a second faster than his teammate. And yeah, very close margins there between the NLR drivers, currently in P2 and 3. CPI Volcano on his first run as well. Coming around the final 2 corners here. But he's invalidated! Just got a bit too fast into turn 9, over the white lines. Would have been a 103.4, 4 tenths faster than Chris. Of course, probably gained a bit of time by exceeding track limits, so make it maybe a 103.5 or 6. But still, that would have probably been enough for P1, and he is thrown away, unfortunately. He'll have to use another set of tires here in Q1. Not ideal for him. And now Impact jumping into P2 with a 104.188. Got a bit of a slipstream there from the Haas car of Cameron. Interesting. Not sure if that was on purpose or if Cameron was just not aware of him, but yeah, thankfully I don't think it impacted Impact's lap. That was not even on purpose, Jesus. Impacted Impact. Jerome meanwhile the 45.1 in the middle sector. The LRN driver going to secure his place in Q2. The moment ones being knocked out will be Henke and Havina. Although of course they haven't done any laps so far. There we go, Henke jumping into first place, just as I say, the 103.7. And Jerome with a 104.6 into 8th. Meanwhile Havina, he's invalidated his run, so he'll have to go again in... well, is he gonna go again now or go back to the pit lane? Seems like he's gone back to the pits. No. What is he doing? He's staying out? Okay. Interesting. Havina, here we go. DL is open. And starting his lap now. We've got an Aston Martin coming around the final corner. That is Chris about to start the lap. I see a Red Bull. That would be Yellow about to start one. A Williams. That is Guyton about to start one. I think then... Is anyone close to finishing a lap? Jerome is on his way back to the pit then as well, so Havina will be the next one across the line here. As he goes down into turn 4, reckon just after the 100 meter board. Stays in 4th gear all the way through, doesn't get the car rotated as nicely as we saw the others doing, so... Yeah, not an ideal lap from Havina it seems so far. And very far from the apex through turn 6. A 55.0 in the middle sector. Almost losing the car, has to correct it going through turn 7. And it seems, I think he's gone back to the pit lane. Has abandoned the lap. Havina seemingly not happy with that one. And for good reason I would say that did not look ideal at all. 5 minutes to go in the session. He's gonna have to try and go again if he wants to get into Q2, because that sort of lap will not be good enough. Guyton meanwhile, around the final corner. 103.620, Guyton into P1. And that should be enough to get him through safely. Meanwhile, Chris right behind him. But he's 17 seconds down. Okay, well. Yele, what about him? 60 thousandths up in the first sector, but he's got no EIS right now, so he will almost certainly not improve on this lap. There we go, now Aaron has got in. With just about enough time left in Q1 to do one lap right at the end. Volcano starting his lap as well, this is crucial for him, he's down in P16. We saw his pace earlier, that was a very strong lap. Apologies. Yeah, a very strong lap from Volcano earlier that just was invalidated in the last 2 corners in the lap. 16.0 in the first sector. And sends the car into turn 3, a lot of entry speed. Sacrificing his exit a little bit, not sure if that was ideal, if that worked for him. Didn't look clean, but he did definitely have a very fast entry, so maybe it works actually, I don't know. Interesting way to take turn 3. And in the end it's a 44.7 in the middle sector, which I think is pretty good. Pretty good, I think. We'll see. 2 more corners to go. Is he gonna be anywhere close to his teammate? A 103.7. 7th gear from the second last corner into the final corner, keeping between the white lines, and over the line is going to be a 103.990. 3 tenths off Guyton, but into P4, and I would say very much safe in that position. Should be into Q2 safely. But yeah, still a few drivers who haven't done laps. Aaron, Sweet Crown, Peace, and Havina all without a legal lap so far. Of course, Aaron having joined about a minute or so ago, so he needs to hopefully nail his banker lap to get into Q2. Right now it will be Sweet Crown, Peace, and Havina knocked out. The final 3 in this classification. Cameron has jumped into P11 with a 104.5, his first lap on dry compound tires. Sweet Crown now with a 103.941, jumping all the way to 4th place. His teammate Peace on a lap as well, both relentless cars, having left it very late to do their run. Putting themselves under pressure here, they have to get this right. Sweet Crown is pulled off, will Peace do the same? It's just Aaron, Havina and Peace without a lap, both PFR cars, and then the car of relentless Peace. Wessel in danger as well with a 4.9, that's still time to beat. He's still in the pit lane, but he's going out right now. After that, Dan, Jerome, with both the 4.6 are in danger as well. And now Peace through the final corner. Where is he gonna end up? Diaz open to the line, 103.4.054 and into P6. And that means Wessel now in the drop zone. Dan in the hot seat. Jerome. Cameron is done. He will not improve on this 4.560. We've got Havina going to turn 1 here. Crucial for him to get the lap right and hopefully get himself into Q2. Going past the Haas of Pincio there. Braking just after the 100 meter board. Sliding the car to turn 3. Terrible exit. And I think that's it for Havina. Unless he gets round one more time. Does he have enough time left? 1.5 minutes. He should be able to get round one more time. But then he will be on used tires. Havina with the mistake. The lap is ruined. His teammate Aaron looked to be cleaner there, at least from when I went on board. In P17 right now, both PFR cars without a valid lap. Oh, Aaron, not ideal at all. Turning in too early for turn 4. And he's abandoned the lap as well. Both PFR drivers abandoning their runs here. What about Wessel? Henke retiring in the pits, of course. He's safe in 2nd place. Wessel purple in sector 1 apparently. Sweet car retiring from the session. Why is Wessel lifting? I'm not sure if you're seeing it, but he's lifting when shifting up. And now, through turn 4, very nice line there from him, very early on the power. Definitely very, very smooth driving here from Wessel. We'll see if it's paid off for him. 7 tenths up, yes, Wessel with a massive improvement here. 7 tenths, that's putting him around a 4.2, sort of P10, P11 NLR, yeah, splitting the 2 NLR cars. Somewhere around that area. If you can just bring it over the line here. Diaz open, it's a 104.015 into P6, and that's Wessel safely into Q2. What about Dan? Is he improving? Through the final corner. Over the line. Where is he gonna end up? It is a 104.224 into 13th. Now Cameron is in danger. Javron is in P16. Aaron and Havina. Havina's in the gravel. Havina's done. Havina will be in last place in this qualifying. It's Aaron and it's Javron, who I'm not sure if he's doing another lap. He's very low on EIS here. He's currently in P16. It might be all about Aaron. Can Aaron beat the 104.560? He's in the gravel as well, that's it. I think that's it. Unless Javron can somehow improve with almost no EIS in this car. And not ideal there, either gets blocked by his teammate slightly. Does Javron have any chance here? He's down, he's actually up by 2 tenths without any EIS. How is he doing this then? Can Javron with 3% EIS here steal Cameron's place in Q2 right at the end? 104.560 to beat. Has Javron done enough? No, he's invalidated at the final corner. And that's it. It is Javron in 16th, Aaron in 17th, and Avina in 18th. Those 3 are knocked out. Very close margins there between Javron and Cameron. 60,000 separating them in P16 and 15. Both Aaron and Avina not able to get a clean lap in. With, well, in the end, considering they both made mistakes, like a 115.7 and 115.8 is, yeah, pretty unlikely to be that close together when you have a lap that you abandoned. And now we have our classification. It's Guyton in P1 and Q1, followed by Henke, Chris, Sweet Crown, Volcano, Wessel, Impact, Peace, Hülkenberg, Hirio, Jelle, Miguel, Dan, Pincio, and Cameron in 15th. And then exactly 1 second off the fastest time, Jerome in 16th. And then Aaron and Havina 12 seconds off each, having made major mistakes in their laps, unfortunately, in 17th and 18th. Not a good start for the PFR team. They'll have to hope to make up places in the race. But yeah, ignoring those 2, who of course didn't get a proper lap, and the entire field within 1 second, so a pretty close field spread here. And especially if you consider that Guyton has a 10th to Henke and himself is another 1.5 tenths to P3. So, yeah, looks to be in for an exciting race here. And we now go into Q2. The top 10 will go through the Q3 from here. 5 more drivers have been knocked out in this session. And then the remaining 10 will fight over pole position and over the first points of the weekend. It is 10 points for pole, 8 for P2, 6 for P3, and then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 down to P8. And then for the race, normal Formula 1 points, the one we're all used to. The 25 for the win, 18 for P2, and so on. We all know it. We see an Aston Martin leaving the pit lane there, Red Bull as well. The first driver is immediately going out here in Q2, not wasting any time to get going. I believe that is Chris, who is the first on track. And he's followed by one of the Red Bulls, which is Yele for LRN. And then already a Volcano behind him. So yeah, the benchmark for I think what I would say is a good time for Q2 standards is to get into 103s. Based on what we saw in Q1, I think if you're in the 103s, you should have a good chance of making Q3. I wouldn't say guaranteed, because I think a lot of drivers in this field have the potential to do a 103. But I think that is sort of like the minimum you need to get a top 10. If you're not in the 103s, you're probably in trouble. Chris actually stopped behind Yele, so Yele will be the first one to start a lap here. Coming up in the final corner, burning fuel here on the outlap, of course making sure the car is as light as possible. Every 1,000 counts. And there we go, the lap now starting, it's in the final corner. Dia is open, down into turn 1. He's gonna nail this one. Has he got the braking right? Clipping the apex curb and just ending up right to, yeah, beside the yellow sausage curb and not going onto it. 16.0 in the first sector. Gets the car stopped nicely for turn 3 and back on the power. The air is open. Down towards turn 4. A downhill braking section. Has to be careful in the throttle. Very easy to have a spin around here, especially if you're on used tires. Not as much so in qualifying though. Bit of a slide. Not ideal. That might have cost him about half a step or something like that. And now braking just after the 15 meter board. Getting the car onto the inside line. 44.9. Clipping the curb through turn 7. Sorry. And now down towards the final 2 corners. Braking just after the 15 meter board. Clipping the apex curb again. Over the curb on the exit. And through the final corner. Dia is open. Where is he going to end up? A 104.191. The first time in the session. We'll see what Chris can do. 103.7. 4 tenths faster. Next car over the line, I think, is the... it's an Alpine, sorry, not a Williams. Impact, there we go. 104.666. He's followed by Miguel, on board Fulkenberg right here, who goes into second place at 103.9. Next car across the line should be Henke, who is just going through the final 2 corners here. And the air is open for him. How far up the field can he go? 103.952. Pincio 104.7 to P6. Here we go into 7th, 104.9. We've got Guyton and Wessel both finishing the lap. Wessel into 5th at 104.4 and Guyton into 2nd, 103.8. So right now only 4 drivers inside the 103s. Henke, Hülkenberg, Guyton and Chris. Of course, a few left to do the left. Miguel isn't validated. Cameron going down to turn 4 here, the Aero driver. His teammate currently in 8th, at 104.7. Second last out the ones who've done laps. Sweet ground piece, Cameron, Dan, Miguel and Volcano having not completed laps so far. I think Volcano started one at least. I'm not sure who else did. And Volcano went back to the pit lane. Can only assume that he invalidated. Or made some kind of mistake that caused him to abandon the lap. But now, through the final two corners, Cameron, how far up the field can he go? Diaz open, and over the line, a 104.239 into P6. Will that be enough for a Q3 plates? I believe Sweet Crown will be... Yeah, Sweet Crown about to start the lap here, and he'll be the only one on the lap. Everybody else either in the pits or on the back to the pit lane in the case of Cameron. So yeah, we'll stay on with Sweet Crown, have a look at his lap. Relentless, having left it very late in Q1. He's seemingly having a similar strategy. He's still in the pit lane, hasn't gone out yet. But Sweet Crown, with 9 minutes to go, already on the lap here. 15.9 in the first sector. And almost drifting through turn 3. But as we know in F123, that is not even... Yeah, it can work pretty well, so we'll see if it's paid off for him come the end of the lap. Down to third through turn 4 and then back into fourth for the traction. Just clipping the curb through turn 6. And a 44.3 in the middle sector. Purple apparently. Of course with this game I can never trust the purples. We'll see if Sweet Crown's lap was actually that good. It definitely looked good. Diaz to the line, a 103.661. There we go, into P1. So the purple sectors weren't lying. Sweet Crown with just over 1/10 of a gap to Chris. Our new, well not pole sitter, but our new first place sitter, I guess. Pole sitter would be only in Q3, of course. We've got T2T Dan here. Also about to start his first run of the session, 8 minutes to go. Following him is Peace. Volcano and Miguel out on track as well. So the last 4 without a lap, all about to go for their lap. The first one of those will be T2T Dan. His teammate leaving the pit lane at the moment. Maybe there was some slipstream games trying to be played here, but I think if that is the case, Chris lost or Chris missed out on his messed with the timing a bit. Came out right behind Dan rather than in front. 16.0. We'll look at P sector time as well. 16.0 also. Keep an eye on Miguel following Volcano very closely. They're starting his lap. Not sure if that's a good choice, but should be just enough far behind to not run into him in case, unless Volcano makes a mistake, of course. We'll see. Dan, what is his time just do? 44.7. Volcano 15.8. Miguel 16.0. Peace 44.8 as well. I think that's the same as Dan. And Dan around the final corner. Oh, just barely keeping within the white lines there. And it's a 104.001. For Peace, it's gonna be a 104.268. Volcanoes in the middle sector on a 44.1. Sweet Crown in the pits. Miguel on a 44.7. 6/10 off Volcano. But I think Volcano is sector 2 was very fast there at 0.1. And we'll see if it was enough in the end. He's invalidated! Volcano at the last corner. It would have been a 103.4. Would have been P1. Miguel jumping into 7th there with a 104.165. And Volcano will have to go again. Volcano now the only one in the session with no lap completed so far. Would have been P1, but he threw it away. A few others on track now. We've got Impact in P12. We've got both ASA cars, in fact Hero as well. Of course, they are both right now in the drop zone. The time to beat is Peace in P10 with a 4.268. That is the benchmark for everyone to have a go at. So go on board with Hero, who is a bit further along the road here than his teammate. And he has got put in a 44.6 in the middle sector, up by 5/10. What about Impact? 44.5, up by 6/10. Promising stuff for the ASE drivers so far. Of course, they might have been on used tires in the first run. That might be the case for a lot of drivers, in fact. And it will be able to significantly improve on the second run. And there we go, 3.8 into third place. And Impact 3.6 into second place. So both AC cars now in the top 4, P4 and P2. Very good positions to be in. We've got CPI Henki as well in 7th on a 3.5. 5 minutes to go now. Where's Henki gonna end up here? 103.425 into P1, a 5/10 improvement. So the first one was probably on used tires then. And yeah, that should safely put Henki into into Q3, sorry. And now we have to wait. 4.5 minutes to go, everybody either in the pit lane or in lap, I think, here. Yeah, none of these guys are pushing again. Of course, wouldn't make much sense. Not gonna be able to improve with no ERS and used tires. So the time to beat now is Jelle's 104.191 in P10, but the gap to Miguel is not big. Yeah, the 103 benchmark that I put seems to be about right at this point. At the moment, the entire top 7, the 103s, Dan and PA just outside it. But I would not consider anyone completely safe. Honestly, I would not call anyone completely safe apart from Henki. I think the point 4 is the only one who yeah, Henki's the only one who I'd say is completely safe. Of course, the higher you are, someone like Sweet Crown, Impact, Chris, Hero, even Hero, I mean, and P5, I think you're already in trouble because it's so easy to just yeah, gain some more time with how close this grid is right now. I mean, if you look at the gaps from Impact to Peace, it's 6/10. 6/10 separating sorry, from Sweet Crown to Peace. Yeah, 6/10 separating P2 and P12. And I can pretty safely tell you that Volcano, Pincio, Wessel as well could improve by a lot. Yellow is starting his run as well already, sorry. The first one with a massive Austria moment to turn on, he's abandoned it! Yellow, he's gonna have to go again. He has more than enough time to get round one more time though, so he should be fine. But of course, tires will be used, not ideal. What about Peace here? He is starting a lap as well, currently in P12, a 104.268, up by 68 thousandths in the first sector. The time to beat, a 104.191. Can he do it? Can Peace get himself into Q3 here? Down to turn 4. Gets the car rotated really nicely early in the power. And down towards turn 5, or through turn 5 and now down to turn 6 and 7. Staying off the curb on the inside. He's up by 2.5 tenths, a decent improvement for Peace, but will that be enough? It will be enough for now, of course. He will be, get into the top 10, but will he stay there? And now, through the final corner, not an ideal line at all. DRS open, and it's gonna be a 103.983 into 8th. Oh, that could be close for him. That could be close. Will that be enough? TGT down in 9th. Next one will finish the lap. He's up by a 10th here. Once he got himself into those, into that 103, yeah, barrier. Really aggressive to turn in there in the second to last corner. And the last corner as well, almost full, yeah, like 90, almost like 90 degree lock there for him. And he does improve, 103.882 into 7th place. Now Miguel is in danger. We've got...
It's a very good lap from Volcano.
Oh Jesus, Jonathan, you scared me. We were gone for like 15 minutes and then you just start talking out of nowhere. There we go, Volcano. As you said, a very good lap into P2. Yellow up by 2.5 tenths here in P13. How far up the field can he jump? Right now, Cameron is the last one to the top 10. 3.978 into P11, not enough for him. He's coming on the final corner again, but he's not improving. Wessel over the line, 103.957 into 11th, just barely missing out there. Miguel, he's not improving. Is anyone still able to improve here? I think Miguel is gonna start one final run here. He's currently in 14th. This needs to be a good lap for him. Pincio is down by 8,000 in the first sector. We'll see what he is at after the middle sector. Up by 67,000. Nowhere near enough for him, but can he find a massive amount in the final sector maybe? Both T2T cars, well, down to the pit lane. One more Chris, he's in P6 right now. And stays in P6 after a 75,000 improvement. Hülkenberg is invalidated. Cameron in the pit lane. Wessel, is he still going? Wessel down by 28,000. Peace up by 1.5 tenths. And Peace, I think, will be next on the custom line. Can he knock Cameron out of Q3 right in the end? Peace over the line. What will it be for the relentless driver? P7, 103.798. He's done enough. Wessel doesn't improve. Miguel is the last one still on the lap. He's purple in the middle sector. P14 for him right now. 104.165. That's either him or his teammate Hülkenberg who goes into Q3. The other one will be knocked out. And Miguel over the line goes into 8th place. 103.862 for Miguel. And that means Hülkenberg has been knocked out. Right in the end. What a qualifying session here in Q2. And in the end, it's 1,000 separating Guyton from Henke in P1 and 2. Volcano in third, 51,000 behind. Really close gaps in the front there. And Speed Crown, Impact, Chris, Peace, Miguel, Hirio and Dan. 4.5 tenths separating the top 10. Those are your contenders in the final session for qualifying day in Q3. The top 8 getting points, of course. Hülkenberg out in 11th, unfortunately. Cameron, and I mean, look at the gaps from P11 to P14. That's half a tenth separating 4 cars, and then half a tenth into the top 10 into Q3. And I mean, Miguel with about 20,000 to P10 as well. So it's 1/10 and a bit from P8 to P14. It could have been anyone knocked out here. Pincio unfortunately with a 104.7, I think must have been some kind of mistake on that lap. Unfortunately for him, he's out in P15. And here we are then for Q3. So Jonathan, what would you say? Who is the favorite for pole position now?
Got to be Henke, surely. Did he even go out for a final run there at the end?
I think Henke went out a bit earlier than everybody else. That's why he wasn't on track at the end. I don't know if I think he did do 2 runs, but the first one was on used tires.
Yeah, so he'll definitely he should have an advantage with tires. Unless everyone used old sets.
Yeah, I'm not sure who has used old, who has used fresh, who is like I have no no way of knowing who has got how many tires left, unfortunately.
But yeah, both McLarens right up there. Obviously, was it Galton was the guy in 1,000 off?
Yeah, it was Guyton and Henke, I think, separated by 1,000 in P1 and 2, and Volcano half a tenth behind. So you would think those 3 are the main favorites, the main ones to look out for here in Q3. 2 CPI cars and Guyton.
Yeah.
But I mean, with a 4.5 tenths field spread from P1 to P10 in Q2, it honestly could be anyone, surely.
Yeah, no one can really say they're out of it. Austria is just one of those tracks where anyone can take it.
Yeah, if you nail your lap and somebody else messes up, you could find yourself right in the front, even if you were down in P10, P9 in Q2. Chris, the first one starting lap as well. Chris as well, I think, has been pretty fast in both Q1 and 2. Hasn't been right in the front. Chris is actually back in the pit lane.
Interesting.
Okay, well, weird choice.
Impact now. It's gonna be the first one to start the lap.
And he does actually start the lap, unlike Chris. Following him is Henke, who is currently slowing down the field a bit and causing a bit of a traffic jam here. But I think it's now been resolved. Yes, it has. Right, fine. We'll go back on board to Impact. 15.9 in the first sector. So under that 16-second barrier we saw being broken in Q2 quite a bit. think that's sort of the benchmark for a good Sector 1. If you're below 16 seconds, it's good. It does say that everyone is on fresh tires. It says 0 laps for everyone, but I'm not sure if that is to be trusted.
44 laps in the middle sector.
Of course, purple, the first one to complete in the middle sector.
From what I remember, is 44.2 that Volcano did when he went to P2 time. So should be a couple tenths off that.
3.6 from Impact. That's a decent start to Q3. We'll see what Henke has to say about that. 3.3! That's what Henke has to say. 3.5 from Sweet Crown. Miguel with a 4.1, half a second off Impact. Not a good start to his Q3, but probably on used tires there, I'm pretty sure. If he's that far off. We've now got TGT Dan back on track here. Trying to find someone. Peace is currently in the gravel trap of turn 3. Where is he? Where is he going? Peace. Look at the track map. It's like kilometers away from the track. You have to be careful not to be disqualified here. Oh, Peace in the wall! Thankfully he's kept his front right tire there. What was Peace trying to achieve? 44.5 by Hero in the middle sector. His teammate Impact in third place. We'll see if he can join him at the front.
I think Peace just wants to test the grapple traps everywhere today.
Hero with a 3.8, but unfortunately invalidated at the final corner, so it will not be counted. Yeah, Peace is actually just exploring Austria, it seems. Wants to see a bit of the mountains. And we go hiking.
It's not a bad area to be fair.
Volcano with a 15.8 in the first sector. That is a very good first sector. I think here him and Chris are the ones on laps right now. Chris with a 44.4 in the middle sector. Volcano with a tire in the gravel and he's invalidated. A 44.0 in the middle sector, but he's invalidated.
That would not propel it as well.
Yeah, that was a very good middle sector by Volcano, but yeah, just going over the white line unfortunately for him. And for Chris it's gonna be P4, 103.672.
It would have been a 3.155.
Oh my god. Not far away from the 102s now. Guyton starting as well here. Of course, one of the drivers we said to look out for in terms of fighting for pole position. 103.396 by Henke to beat if he wants to be all the way at the front. And a 15.902 first sector. Checking to see. Oh, Volcano with a major mistake through turn 4. Don't think he's gonna finish that lap. Both Dan and Chris aren't on laps either, so just Guyton to watch out for right now. Everybody else in the pit lane or on their way back in the pit lane, I think. Guyton with a 44.3 in the middle sector, purple apparently. But that is 3/10 off what Volcano just did. So Volcano seems to have a ton of pace here. Just yeah, making lots of mistakes, lots of invalidations for him, which continue to cost him. And Guyton over the line with a 103.408 and 12. Yeah, really close. Henke and Guyton. Only 12 thousandths separating them. Volcano in P10 right now still. Hero in P without laps as well. Sweet Crown with a 3.561, Impact with a 3.602, 7 sorry, Chris with a 103.672, Dan in 6th with a 3.752, and then Miguel with a 4.110. That is the current order in qualifying 3 here. As everybody is in the pit lane now. 4.5 minutes to go in Q3, one more lap for everyone. Who's gonna be the first to go out? as I say that, there we go, the first to go out. ASE Hero.
A bit early.
Yeah, very early, especially for Austria. 4.5 minutes.
Like you could almost go out, do a lap, and come back in.
Not quite. Doesn't quite have that much time, but
I said almost.
yeah. I guess he could be thinking he wants to have enough time in case he messes up and he can go again. What's his fuel? 3.9. Yeah, he could do 2 laps here. So if he makes a mistake at turn 1, say he can abandon the lap, go around again and try again.
Yeah. I mean, we saw it with it was Pease, I think, in Q2. He went out quite early, did a lap, filled down the recharged zeros, filled down the tires, and went again and got through.
Yeah, even if the tires are worn, and you're probably not going to be all the way at the front with worn tires, you can still try and get the best position you can with those tires. So it makes sense that if you think you might make a mistake, to have that sort of backup plan. And here we go. We're on the final corner. No left-hand side frame so far, no banker lap. You can see his T-Mac Impact almost stopping on track here. So I think we're about to see some slipstream being given. Maybe that's why he went out so early. To make sure he would be on a lap, or like would be out of sync with Impact. And there we go, Impact is gonna give him the slipstream. Oh, not ideal. Impact a bit too slow on the straight there. I think he had to wait too long to accelerate, and by the time he accelerated, Hirio had so much momentum, he just went right past him. That didn't gain him a lot of time. .4 in the middle sector. We'll also have to keep an eye on whether Hirio now gives Impact a slipstream back. It would only make sense. The Aston Martin of Dan having to go very wide to not block Hirio, and that's probably cost him his run. 3.670 into P5. Dan is now starting his lap, but not a great start to this lap. He went completely off the track at the final corner to avoid blocking Hirio. And now he's got so much traffic here. 3.752 his first lap. And a 16.7 in the first sector. You can abandon this lap. There's no way to improve. He's still going. I'm not sure why. You might as well just turn off the ERS and try again next lap, because this will not be an improvement. Impact now getting a tow from his teammate. Just as I said. Hirio returning the favor. And it's a 44.486 in the middle sector, actually down by 79,000, so we can move to slipstream. Not great for Impact. Meanwhile, a lot of other cars on the laps as well now. And Impact over the white line in the final corners and validated. Wouldn't have improved anyway.
And now it's the tractors through sector 3.
Yeah, I'm currently on with Peace, and he's coming up to this traffic jam. And you can only hope that these guys are all nicely parked on the right-hand side. It doesn't look like they are. Yes, they are. Great awareness to... I did not expect them to all be on the right-hand side. I thought at least one of them would be asleep. And Peace into P5 with a 103.613. Miguel has abandoned his run. Will not complete it. TGT cars, both... Are they pushing? Yes, Chris up by 2/10, Dan down by 4.3, so Chris the only one on the lap right now out of the TGT cars. And through the final 2 corners, he's currently in P7, a 3.672. How much can he improve by? Into pole position! A 103.376! All the way into P1. Hirio is done. Dan is done. Next one across the line will be the X-car of Guyton. Up by exactly 1,000 in the middle sector. But the margin is so close in the front. Between Chris, Henke and Guyton. Will Guyton be able to do enough here? Sweet Crown right behind him. And then Henke's invalidated. Henke's done. Henke not improve. Sweet Crown is invalidated. Guyton over the line. Into pole position. Sweet Crown has invalidated. Volcano into fourth. Peace in the gravel. Miguel is still going. Miguel the only one still going. He's currently in last place. How far up the grid can he go? Can he improve? 103.676 into 9th place. And that's it. Peace going from the spin in the final corner. And it's Guyton on pole, followed by Chris in second, and then the two CPI cars in third and fourth. And Sweet Crown in fifth, Impact in sixth, Peace in seventh. And wow, what a close qualifying there. Did not expect Chris to come from that far down, but exactly as I said, anyone could be at the front with this close to the field. And now we have your full qualifying results. Guyton, Chris, Henke, Volcano. 79,000 separating P1 to P4. Sweet Crown, Impact, half a turn between them and P6 and P5 and 6. Peace only 6,000 behind Impact and P7. Another half attempt to Hero in P8, who has about 20,000 from Miguel in P9. And then Dan in 10th place, 4/10 of pole only in P10. And yeah, Hero, Peace, Impact, Sweet Crown, Volcano, Henke, Chris and Guyton picking up points already in qualifying here. So the first points already scored for their teams. And now we go into the Grand Prix. 36 laps around the Red Bull Ring. So who would you say has the best chance to win this race now?
Phew. I mean, obviously the best chance will always be the pole sitter, but it's going to be so close with DRS trains, undercuts, safety cars, anything can happen in Austria. So it's being on pole doesn't necessarily mean much around here.
True, Austria is definitely very yeah, a lot of DRS trains around here that can impact the race, and as long as you stay in the leading DRS train by lap 3, you're in with no chance. So honestly, you could win from as low as 20th without any sort of chaos, just pure DRS trains making up places over time. But yeah, I think I would say that I'm obviously a bit biased there because I'm also a member of X, but I'll say Guyton. I'll say Guyton is going to win this race. It'll be lovely to see. But here we are. The 5 red lights are on. We're ready for the race start. And lights are out. It's lights out, and away we go. Guyton getting away very well there, and he's only cleared Chris into turn 1 with the cover of Henke. Volcano having a little look up the internal teammate, but instead has to now defend against Sweet Crown, who is trying to go for P4 here around the outside towards turn 3. Volcano not opting to stay alongside. Bit of scrubbling going on behind there as Henke moves past Chris. Oh, one of the both AC cars with contact to each other there. Impact up into P4 through that somehow. Guyton still in lead, followed by Henke and then Chris. Sweet Crown, Impact battling over P4. Sweet Crown moving ahead.
Sweet Crown has wing damage.
Does he?
Yeah, the front right end pipe is gone.
Good spot, but yeah, very unfortunate for Sweet Crown then. He's running in P4, but he will drop down over the course in the stint, and you can tell he's creating a massive train here. Impact now getting past him. Volcano wanting to move past. Peace wanting to get past his teammate as well here. He's holding up the entire field. Peace has moved past. Sweet Crown still staying out here, creating the train even further. Miguel going for the move from Volcano. Complete chaos here in the midfield. There's a car in the pit lane, and I think that's Wessel. Wessel has picked up wing damage in the first lap as well. We are 2 wide into turn 1 here with Cameron also into the car round. Sweet Crown is round. And Volcano's picked up a 3-second time penalty already. Volcano's round as well. And a 3 wide into turn 3. And it's Yelly on the inside line who comes on ahead. He passes both Miguel and Hero. As Hero goes off track. Oh, a complete miss then. Yes, Guyton and Henke. And Henke with the mediums on the inside line is moved ahead.
But as you said, anyone with the DRS at lap 3, it looks like it's only going to be the top 3.
Yeah, Sweet Crown has caused a massive gap between P3, well, massive 2 seconds, but oh, there's a Red Bull off Yale! And he rejoined side by side with Pincio there. Thankfully, no contact made. Pincio was able to avoid him, but Yale down to P11. Also interesting to note, Henke on the mediums, Gaiden and Chris on the hards. So you would think Henke's plan was to take the lead and run away, but it hasn't worked. Gaiden is in DRS range here, and yeah, now it's going to be very difficult for him to shake. Very difficult for Henke to shake Gaiden. 3 DRS zones around this track, and only 10 corners. So yeah, not a lot of places to gain enough time to get him outside 1 second before he starts gaining on the straight again. Meanwhile, Peace might be able to have a go at impact here. Down to turn 4. Is he going to send the brakes? Yes, he is, up the inside. But he doesn't get fully alongside and has to back out the move on the exit. Impact staying ahead, for now at least. We've got Hülkenberg in the pit lane there. Getting a wing change, dropping down to last place. Pincio and Yale side by side through turn 6. And Yale moves ahead. Back into P10 after some saying, oh, Miguel is off! Miguel in the gravel! With a mistake at turn 8. And at the same time, Havina off as well at turn 6. Miguel rejoining in 13th, Havina rejoining in 16th. And Volcano into the pits. What has happened to Volcano? Has he picked up damage as well? It is complete chaos here on the opening laps of the Austrian Grand Prix. No wing change for Volcano. Only a tire change, but a very early one at that. As Peace now made the move on Impact for P4. But Impact's gonna try and come back at him. DRS open. Volcano retiring in the pit lane. Volcano's done. Volcano out of the race. Impact moves back past Peace for P4. Volcano retires in the pit lane on lap 4.
Wow.
Interesting. Complete rage quit. Would think he's gonna try and stick in the race for longer, surely. So much can still happen. One safety car would have been right back in it, but yeah, Volcano seemingly cannot be bothered. And he's now left his teammate Henke on his own. 3 different teams in the top 3 within DRS range with other. In fact, 6 different teams in the top 6. We've got CPI, X, T2G, ASE, Relentless, and ERO. And then T2G down the first repeat of teams in P7. He's currently fighting with Hirio and Yale for that 7th position. Is Hirio close enough to have a go at him? He is not. But Pete having a go at Impact. Those two swapping places quite often here. Pete has a DRS, I think. No. Yeah, yes he does, sorry. And that will allow him to move ahead of Impact down to turn 4 and stay in P4. As Hirio moves past Dan up the inside into turn 4. Dan trying to switch back. Does he have the momentum? Does he have the traction? They are side by side, down into turn 6. But Dan does not try and hold it around the outside. And this is great news for Cameron, as these guys battling is costing them time, dropping them outside DRS range to him. Here you're burning up ERS to get back inside DRS range to Cameron. He knows he needs that DRS to defend from Dan, otherwise Dan will just come right back at him. And Hirio hasn't got it. So now he's very vulnerable to an attack by Dan. As Hirio puts in the fast in the race, you can tell he was really pushing. Sweet Crown into the pits now. And I can only assume for a front wing change. And indeed a front wing change. As Dan moves past Hirio for P7, side by side in turn 3 actually. Hirio trying to hang around the outside. Dan squeezing him onto the curb on the exit. And gets ahead. And both have DRS now, so Hirio won't have it easy to try and come back at him. Yele might even have a go at him. Has a little look up the inside but decides against it. Hirio with a slide through turn 4, I think in a bit of rear knocking. But he has caught it and kept the car pointing in the right direction. As Cameron is outside DRS range to Impact, he's now very much vulnerable to Dan behind. And yeah, a bit of a train here, all the way from Cameron to Jerome. Of course, I have to keep an eye on this as well. I think Gaiden is happy to stay in this sort of 6/10 range. Cameron's a massive mistake through the final corner. And he's practically...
No ERS either.
Yeah, he's just sent an open invitation for everyone to fly right past him, down to turn 3 here. There will be at least 2 cars going past him, I think. Oh, unless... There we go, Dan and here we go, both side by side, 3 wide into turn 3, Cameron comes on ahead actually. But here we go, Dan side by side, and Yellow now getting involved on the exit with a better exit. Is he gonna be able to get past Hirio here, finally? He's been stuck behind him for a while now. And he does move ahead of the AC driver, but he sends it back in, Hirio. Yellow trying to stay on the outside line there, bit of contact made on the exit. Yellow keeping his nose down into turn 5. And now on the inside line, they're fully side by side. Brilliant racing here, lots of respect, leaving it in that room. Absolutely lovely to see, and they're still side by side now. Bit of shoving on the exit of turn 7, and wheel to wheel, down into turn 9 and 10. And finally Helios moved ahead, and Yellow has to back out the move. What a battle. And now Impact right behind Peace here with so much ERS. Literally 100%. Is he gonna try and overtake him? Meanwhile, Guyton going for the lead! Side by side with Henke into turn 3. And he gets ahead. And Chris now set with Henke as well. Henke about to be passed by both of them. Henke doesn't have the ERS. Chris is gonna go right past him. And is Chris gonna get Guyton as well? Does this stream now down to turn 4? He does not.
Maybe the medium's starting to drop off a little bit.
Yellow moving past Hirio in the meantime. Hirio sending it back up the inside, and there comes Pincio as well, 3 wide! Where did Pincio come from? I did not even see him! Hirio comes on ahead, Pincio goes up into 9th, and Yellow into P10 there. He's been, mugged off there a bit. Pincio and Hirio are side by side through turn 7 and 8. But Pincio gets stuck on the inside curb. Oh, Dan is off! Ahead of them with a spin! And into the gravel trap. And now, Pincio and Hirio side by side into turn 9. Hirio comes on ahead, Pincio opted to back off the move. And Yellow practically pushing him through the final corner. He's so close behind him here. I'm picking up a 3-second time penalty here for multiple warnings. Keep an eye on the front meanwhile, as Chris might have a go at Guyton. No, but Henke has a go at Chris. On the brakes there, Henke a bit late on the brakes, but doesn't get a great exit. Meanwhile, Peace and Impact battling over P4. Peace on the inside line. And now down into turn 4, he's up the AS again, but Impact is slightly ahead. Is Peace gonna try and come back at the ASE driver? Up the inside. And Impact trying to hang it around the outside. Halfway over the curb, car gets it unsettled and kills his exit, and Peace moves ahead. Yellow flags in sector 3 for Havina, I think. Yeah, must be Havina, but he's going again. And Chris has moved past Guyton. Going to turn 8, 9, what has happened here? How has Guyton been passed there?
It's a strange phase for an overtake.
Yeah, and now especially because Chris is now very much vulnerable to being overtaken instantly. In fact, might even lose 2 places at once here. Because Henke is not far behind Chris even. Let's stay on board with Henke. And Guyton is gonna go for the move on Chris. And gets past the T2T driver. But of course now it'll be Chris with the DRS against Guyton. So he might be able to re-overtake him immediately. And I think indeed that's about what's about to happen here. Overtake being used. Guyton defending the inside, Chris trying to hang it around the outside through turn 4. Does not get the move done in fact. Tries to switch back but doesn't have the momentum. He sticks his nose in there, Guyton has to leave in the space, but he backs out in the end. Yellow gets past Cameron for P6. This battle for, from P6 to P11, or P10 that is, sorry. Still raging on as Miguel has gotten past Aaron for P11. A monumental battle here in the midfield for the lower points places. Yeah, the top 10 split into 3 trains here. It's Guyton, Chris, Henke, then a big gap to Peace and Impact, and a smaller gap to Yellow, Cameron, Pincio, Hirio, and Jerome. As Hirio picks up a 3-second time penalty. Henke about to go for the move on Chris, himself gonna go for the move on Guyton. Maybe even 3 might in turn 3. No, Henke backs out. Henke playing it smart. And going for the switchback to turn 3. As Guyton has a horrible exit. And now Henke is alongside. But Guyton getting the slipstream from Chris doesn't allow him to stay ahead. And now side by side into turn 4. Guyton on the inside. He's gonna get ahead of Chris here. Chris on a bit of a slide, and Henke has to step on the brake just a bit on the exit to avoid running into him. Miguel picking up a penalty. Guyton back in the lead. What a crazy race this has been so far. It is getting difficult to stay on top of everything, I can't lie. Trying to keep tabs on this fight for P6. Keep an eye on the race leaders as well. And of course there's other action all the way down the field between Peace and Impact. And outside in top 10 as well. And we're not even at the halfway point. Yellow flags at turn 1 for Havina, who is spun around and been lapped now.
Not a good race for him.
Yeah, not at all. He's made a ton of mistakes, and he would have been hoping for better. And now that he's lapped, that is almost officially the end of his race, because even the safety car will not bring him back into the fight for points. Chris moving past Guyton. Although Guyton with DRS now might immediately come back at him. Henke is still just sitting behind these guys and watching, waiting for the mistake, you would assume. Waiting for his chance to move back into P2, into P1. As Impact moves past P for P4 as well. Yale moves past Cameron for P6. Cameron trying to switch back, but he doesn't have the momentum on the exit of turn 4 to get that done. Sweet Crown getting past Wessel for P14. I wonder when the medium runners are going to start pitting. I reckon we're not
another 4 or 5 laps.
Yeah, but we're not like ages away from it. It's a very short lap, you have to remember. So, I mean, it might even be worth considering to pit very early to go for the undercut. Maybe try someone like look at Yale, Cameron, Pincio. If they pit now and undercut Peace and Impact massively, they might be able to catapult themselves into that DRS train. And let's get one train further ahead. And then even if you have a disadvantage from that train, you're still one train further ahead. So it's worth it. As Cameron and Yale both get past Pincio here, I think. Or was Pincio behind him and went for a move but couldn't pull it off? I'm not sure.
I mean, if you're in Henke's position, you're sitting in P3, you're on the tires that have to go in earlier. What lap are you considering it?
I think Henke, in case of Henke, I'd go for the medium soft. Because you're gonna need a tire advantage late on in this position. These 3 will be in DRS. If he undercuts him now, he'll be ahead of them by more than a second, but they'll just fly right back towards him, and then he'll be fighting them with a disadvantage. So I think what he needs to do is go for the medium soft, to make sure he's gonna be the faster car late on. And sacrifice his speed now and just hang on to the DRS range as long as he can. Because I think he is able to stay in DRS here. He's happy to stay behind, I think, as well. He isn't burning ERS, so I think Henke is indeed playing the long game. If he wasn't playing the long game, he'd be much more aggressive and trying to get past these guys, trying to get away, build a gap. But he's got almost 100% ERS here. Well, the same goes for Guyton, actually. But he isn't forcing a move, he's happy to stay in P3. So I think his play is to do the medium soft.
I mean, that's asking a lot of the mediums.
If you pit on, you have to go to lap 20, 21 to go for softs, even 22. But that's more than possible, I think.
And do you think Guyton and Chris will be doing hard soft?
I mean, if you're gonna do hard soft, you might as well do medium soft. So I think they're committed to the hard medium. But I mean, hard soft is an option as well, of course. Yeah, but it's an unconventional one. I would expect him doing hard medium. I mean, Henke has 2 options. Either he has to undercut them and go for the medium hard very early, as Chris Buell takes Guyton for the lead, or he has to go as long as possible, go for the medium soft so he gets fast at the end. And I would prefer being fast at the end, because undercutting them and having the gap, like being ahead of them by 2-3 seconds, they'll just gain that right back and be in the DRS range, and then you're in the train with them with less grip, and it'll be difficult to beat them in the straight fight.
the last time I raced in Austria, I did a medium hard myself, and it for an undercut. But the guy that actually won the race, there was a very early stage car, so he pit from on lap 3 for mediums, and then on lap 23 for softs. So
Cameron in the pit lane, meanwhile. The first one with a normally timed pit stop, I would say. Everybody else earlier for a wing change.
Yep,
And Cameron onto hards.
A little bit early, but gone for that undercut as Dean is into the pits himself.
I think Cameron might be trying. Cameron was in the train with Vianney and Pinzio, wasn't he? So I think he might be trying exactly what I was talking about. He's gonna try and undercut Impact and Peace and get into their DRS range, so that he's in a fight for P5. And even if he has a disadvantage in that fight, at least he has a chance. He's come out right behind Speedcrown, who of course might not be playing a team game for Peace, making sure he doesn't get undercut too hard by the ERO car here. Indeed, Speedcrown burning every single bit of ERS he still has. But Cameron is gonna send under brakes. Oh, contact made! Both Cameron and Speedcrown sent into a spin. Meanwhile, Hülkenberg with a mistake in the final corner as well. He's into the pit lane, he's now been lapped as well. Second car to mapped after Havina. Cameron done on Speedcrown route, and that's Cameron Dunn's race undone. Impact has left the session!
Oh no. Hülkenberg is out in the pit.
Chris going for the move on Gaiden. Once again a lead change.
They're just pulling each other along with DRS.
Yeah, the gap to P is growing larger and larger. Meanwhile, with Impact's disconnect, he will start dropping down the field. I'll quickly try and re-invite him. Hopefully he can get back in as soon as possible, get into the race and salvage as many points as he can after this unfortunate disconnect.
He's already P9.
Right, invite sent. Gala and Pinzio, we had to try to switch back through turn 6, unconventional spot for a battle. But we've seen these guys do it over and over again. Impact now back in the lobby, he will still be in P9 for the time being, but of course the pit's still coming up for him. Very unfortunate, he was in the battle for P4 and now he's down in P9. Through no fault of his own, I assume, probably some kind of connection issue, internet issue, whatever. Game issue, game crash, could be anything. Yele going for the move into turn 1 and gets past Pinzio, but a terrible exit over the sausage curb, and Pinzio goes right back past, and Hirio slips through as well. Although Yele immediately re-overtaken Hirio, but gets stuck behind Pinzio. Hirio on the inside line is able to defend, pushes Yele onto the sausage curb on the exit as well. And now on lap 18, and most medium runners have not pitted. We're halfway through the race, and they are all still on track, so I think most of them are doing a medium soft. Otherwise I would have pitted by now. You're not gonna go half the race on mediums to then do it the rest of the day, like you would have pitted earlier for hards if you're gonna do a medium hard.
Yeah. Which is exactly what Cameron did, and then obviously he's been caught out. The race is pretty much done.
But I think Pirio is now pitting. Hirio on the hards pits earlier than the medium runners. So he's almost certainly going for mediums here. Releasing Pinzio and Yale. And Hirio onto mediums indeed. He's gonna come out behind Dan probably. But ahead of Speedcrown I think. Could be close actually. This trainer, Speedcrown, Wessel, Cameron.
What's Aaron doing?
Aaron in the pit lane for his first pit stop.
Very slowly into it.
And I got a penalty anyway.
Yeah, he's retired. But he was going about gear 5 for the entire sector 3. It's strange.
I have to say, the track looks pretty cloudy. Chris, I think, Chris with a bit of a dummy. He went to the inside through into turn 9, faking a pit stop. But Henky didn't fall for it. I fell for it though. Chris again moving to the inside. I think maybe Chris' engine is overheating. He's pulling off the slipstream, out of the dirty air. Yeah, look at this. He's purposely not in the slipstream of Gaiden. I think maybe Chris' engine is overheating and he has to cool it down. Normally not something you see in league racing at all, but I have noticed it sometimes in DRS trains that my engine starts overheating, and I normally just ignore it. I don't know if it's much of an issue if it loses you a lot of speed, but I assume it has some impact at least. Otherwise it wouldn't be there. The question, I mean, I'm not sure how much of an impact it has. Like, if it loses you 1 kph, that's gonna be a big problem. But if it's like 10, oh well, surely I would have noticed it at some point if it was that bad. But yeah. Oh, Chris with a bit of a slide into turn 9, but he's caught the car again and kept it on track. Meanwhile, Sweet Crown and Cameron battling for 11th. Cameron coming out ahead finally on the fresh tires, they're getting past the relentless driver. And Hirio has moved past Dan as well. And you can immediately see how much faster Hirio is through the mid sector here. Dan has no chance to try and stay with him. Impact moving past Wessel, these fresh tires are such a major advantage. We're now on lap 21. And I think we might actually be seeing some hard soft runners actually. It's very late for medium stop as well. Sweet Crown with a bit of a mistake in the final corner and already inviting impact right into his gearbox pretty much. And now I think the move will be completed down to turn 3, impact on the right hand side. Just flying past Sweet Crown with Sweet Crown having no chance to try and defend. We'll have a look at the front three and Guyton, Chris, Henke, any of them are gonna be going for a pit stop maybe? Guyton and Chris aren't, and neither is Henke. They are all still staying out. Cameron has moved past Dan for P10.
We've got to give Henke some credit to keep in this train despite 22 lap on mediums.
Yeah, his tires are almost surely have gone off a cliff by now, and his ES isn't even much lower than theirs. It's not like he's having to burn every bit of ES he has. He is comfortably in this DRS range, despite the fact that he almost certainly has a massive tire disadvantage by now. But I mean, you can say the same about Pincio as well, staying with the LRN cars ahead of him. Although, well, Yele actually is on the same strategy. There's rain! It started raining!
Maybe that's why everyone was staying out.
Cameron, you lied to me! Dan into the pit lane immediately for intermediates.
It's gonna change everything now.
Yeah, I did not expect any rain. Cameron said it was gonna be all dry, but he lied. Or maybe the weather report in game was wrong. But Henke is almost immediately dropped outside a second. Henke with major trouble here in the rain apparently. He's not in DRS range. Chris and Guyton have pulled away. Maybe his tires have completely gone off the cliff now.
Henke needs to pit this lap.
I mean, well, if you pit too early for Inters, you just kill them. Like, you get so much tire wear. You get like 10% a lap if you pit for Inters under dry conditions. Pincio's in the pits. I have to say, it does look pretty wet. Maybe not quite time for Inters yet, but we aren't a million miles away from it. And indeed, Pincio on the Inters, Dan on the Inters as well. And have a look at Dan's tire temperatures. They are fine actually, they're below 80, and 80 actually is the sweet spot, I think, for intermediates. Or like 80, 85, somewhere around that area. You want to be above 80 degrees, that's for sure. So his tires are actually too cold rather than too hot.
Yeah, hence Henke's making a lot of errors here. He's stopped in another second.
Yeah, I think it might be time for Inters. At least for him. Guyton is staying out on one lap, and so is Chris.
Oh, it's Henke.
Oh, Henke! Oh, almost just lost the car in the second to last corner.
Like, surely a pit. Look at the front straight.
Yeah, it's certainly time for Inters. It would have been the correct call to pit this lap. Yele is pitting.
I think if I...
And so is Sharon, double stack for LRN.
I don't know why none of the top 4 have done it. It's...
Hirio is staying out. Look at the track, it's so wet. Miguel is in. Impact is in. Cameron is out. Speed Crown is coming in. Yele on the... What? Yele!
More tires?
Softs!
Oh no.
I think Yele has forgot to put on... forgot to send into Inters. Oh, Yele! He's thrown away his race right there. Jerome, the first one into. Actually, no, Pincio, I think, might just about be ahead of him. Yes, Pincio, the first intermediate runner. Dia is now disabled.
They have to come in this lap.
Let's open the gap to leader. It is 41 seconds. Okay, so they're not gonna get anywhere close to Guyton and Chris.
Henke is completely out of this top 5.
Yeah, 5 seconds. He has lost so much time there on those old tires. Guyton in, Chris in, Henke in, Peace in. I assume everyone is in now. If you're not going in, you are crazy. Cameron is spun on the dry compound tires. He's round. Very unfortunate, but predictable, I would say, that at least someone would lose it on the dry in the wet. Or on the dry compounds in the wet, I mean. And he is again almost lost the car immediately, and now Miguel drives wise past him. Impact is gonna follow through it, I think, as well. Guyton has come out in the lead, 1.3 away from Chris with Henke in third. Peace come out on softs as well. Peace made the same mistake as Yele.
Oh no.
Oh, and where's Yele gonna come out? Yele is now in P... 11, 12... Speedcrown is on dries as well still. Both relentless cars are on dry tires. Wait, 3 people have done this. There's no way 3 people have accidentally put on dry tires. Do you think the rain is gonna go away again? Like very soon? If this is like a 5-minute rain shower, this might actually be a half-decent strategy.
But even if it's 5 minutes, they're still gonna lose way too much time.
Yeah, I mean, it's a gamble. It's a weird gamble to make, but if it pays off, they look like geniuses, but...
It's definitely not going to pay off.
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, Peace is losing so much time. Chris picked up a penalty! And, I mean... 10 laps to go, Guyton in P1 with a 1.1 second gap to Chris with a penalty and 4.7 to Henke. It's looking great for Guyton. Meanwhile, the gap between Peace and Pincio coming down really quickly here, only 5.5 now, with Jerome following Pincio right behind very closely here. Of course, Pincio, he pinned a lap earlier, and I did say running the inters on the dry track causes extreme tire wear. So he probably has a lot more tire wear than Jerome, which you can now see in the exit as Jerome has much more grip than Haas. And he's slightly ahead going to turn 4. Is Pinto going to try and hang him around the outside? He is, but now he moves light, and there we go. Jerome has moved ahead. And the same goes for Dan. He pinned a lap earlier than Pinto even, so his tires will be even more worn out. And then you see Peace practically crawling across the track. And he's about to be overtaken by all of these guys.
The gap at the start of the lap was 6 seconds.
And there we go. Miguel goes past. Impact goes past. And Peace practically drifting there. Herios will go past as well. Oh, Peace moving across there to go to the pit lane. Thankfully, Herio just about able to avoid it in time. And Peace, not a great strategy, I have to say. His teammate are on track as well still, and having similar issues. He is barely able to beat full throttle. On to intermediates now for Peace, and Speedcrown in as well on the same lap. Both relentless drivers making the mistake there of trying to stick it out on the dry tires, and it just hasn't worked at all. And they are down to 13th and 14th now. And Speedcrown speeds in the pit lane as well, not ideal for him at all. But look at the gap from P3 to P4, it's massive, 18 seconds, separating Henke and Jerome. It wasn't that big before the intermediate conditions, was it? Oh no, it was of course the because it was Impact and Speedcrown, I think, were following them closely, or Peace, one of those two.
They were in the train behind, but it wasn't that big of a gap.
Yeah, I know, but like the entire train right behind them has made some mistakes on the strategy, or been disconnected in the case of Impact's been disconnected, and then Relentless got the strategy wrong, so that's why the gap is so big. Although even, I mean, the gap wasn't this big to the third train either, was it? 20 seconds between Henke and Jerome. And Miguel now trying to go for the move on Pincio. Sends an under braking actually into turn 3. Pincio leaving the space, but Miguel cannot get that done. Instead has to now look behind his Impact. It's a better exit. Burning overtake. Can Impact get up into P6 again? Of course Miguel is a penalty, so Impact doesn't really need to make a move on him. As we head into lap 29, Guyton 2.5 seconds ahead of Chris, who himself is 3 seconds ahead of Henke. Chris and Henke are still fighting over P2 though, with Chris' penalty, 3 seconds for Chris, and Henke is only 3.1 away.
What would really spice this race up now would be a safety car.
We haven't had one so far. You would think we're on for one, surely, but
Everyone just seems to...
The thing is, the walls at Austria are quite far away, so while you can make plenty of mistakes, you're normally not gonna DNF from them and cause a safety car. There's lots of runoff.
Yeah.
Miguel really close behind Pincio. Is he close enough to go for the move? Yellow flags in sector 3 for... I think that's Savina letting people past. And Miguel gets past Pincio on Impact on the exit as well. Pincio onto the sausage curb on the exit. With a terrible exit, and he's been passed by both Pincio, Impact and Miguel. Impact now immediately having a look at the inside of Miguel and sends him into a spin! Contact made! Pincio back ahead, Hero moves ahead, Miguel and Impact down to 7th and 8th. And Jerome now 2 seconds away from this train. Hero trying to get past Pincio now. Into the final 2 corners here. He's up the inside. Pincio breaks early. Goes wide. Hero leaves him the space to rejoin. Pincio picks up a 3-second time penalty in the process. Hero goes off. Miguel goes back through. Impact goes back through. What a battle for P5 here. And Impact now with major overspeed against Miguel. And goes for the move into turn 1. Miguel trying to hang it around the outside. Gets squeezed onto the curb. His second 3-second time penalty of the race. Now Hero going for the move on Miguel. Not a second of calm in this battle for P5. Miguel trying to get back at Hero now with a switchback through turn 3, but has a bit of a moment on the exit and cannot stay alongside. Meanwhile, Impact going for the move on Pincio now. Yellow flags for Havina, I think that is. Impact trying to hang it around the outside, cannot get it done. He's still alongside though, down into turn 6. And now he's gotten past Pincio, who tries to hang it around the outside, but no chance for him. And now Hero sends on Pincio as well, and gets past him. Hero has so much more grip it seems on these guys. He's like so much more confident. And gets past him. Pincio being passed by Miguel as well, dropping down to 8th, sorry. Meanwhile, the gap between Henke and Chris only 2.2 seconds now. Henke is within range. So right now it would be Guyton, Henke and Chris, the order for your podium. And Miguel trying to go for the move on Hero, trying to fight back for P6. Hero covering the inside, Miguel. Oh, Hero with a slide, Miguel invited in for the switchback, but can't get no momentum and does not get past the Alpine. Still an ASE 5-6 here. Miguel having a look to the outside again. Hero covering the middle of the track. Very nice defending from Hero. And Miguel just cannot find a way around him. We can have a look at the penalty graphic as well. It is 3 seconds for Chris, Hero, Pincio, Galley, Peace, and then 6 for Miguel, Cameron and Havina, and 5 for Sweet Crown. I'll leave this up as well since the tire graphic isn't of much use right now, everybody's on the same tire. Might as well have the penalty graphic up instead. Both ASE drivers still working together here to defend against Miguel. But Miguel now with a better exit. Hirio with a mistake. And inviting Miguel in to this outside line. But look at the straight line speed on Hirio. He has so much more straight line speed. His wings must be so low. He wasn't even burning ERS, he just pulled away on the straight. Like it's nothing. Of course, probably being helped by the fact that his teammates moved over with him to give him a tow. As Peace moving past Dan, up the inside in turn 3 there. Dan is not able to hang around the outside and has to concede a position. Peace up to 11th. On lap 33, I think Guyton is already on 34. Oh no, he's still on 33, sorry. He just started 33 in fact, so yeah, I think this is the last lap a safety car could theoretically come out. So if we want one, we need it now. Although it does seem likely that we are gonna be safety car free for today. Miguel with the 6-second time penalty. Just can't seem to find the way around Hirio to try and build as much of a gap to the cars behind. I think right now he'd lose out to Pincio and Wessel. And Hirio still able to defend from the NLR driver. Miguel still has not found the gap anywhere. Yellow flags in the middle sector for Henki! Henki is spun! And that means that Chris just, yeah, secured P2 in this race. Well, Henki still stays comfortably in P3 though, with a massive gap here to Jerome.
I didn't mad the gap.
Yeah, like, it wasn't even close, he still has like 20 seconds to Jerome. The top 3 are an absolute war of their own today. I mean, the gap, I think it was 20 seconds when they came out the pits, it was 27 before Henki spun. So, yeah, the top 3 are an absolute war of their own, and Guyton in that as well. He's got 5 seconds against Guyton. Guyton, Chris, Henki are flying, but Guyton is flying the most. Yellow flags in the middle sector for Havina with a spin. He's on the full wet compounds. What is he doing in the full wets? This is not full wet conditions. It's, I mean, it's not... Yeah, it's not that bad. Miguel still being patient here. Still trying to find a way past Hirio and still just not able to get it done.
Hirio just has that straight line speed to keep him away.
Yeah, Hirio's straight line speed is really strong. He must be running way lower wings than Miguel is. Meanwhile, Impact actually caught up to Jerome. Sweet Crown picks up a 3-second time penalty. So, with a bit of luck, with a bit of, yeah, good racecraft into the final lap here, Impact is within range to go for the move on Jerome.
It's 2 laps to get it done. 2
laps? Is it the final? Are they about to start? Okay, no. Well, I think because it's at 35 in the top left and they're about to cross the line, we go to 36, but 35 is where Guyton is, so... Yeah. So this is the second to last lap they're starting now. And Impact is not far away from Jerome. A battle for P4 is on. Can Jerome defend against Impact? Meanwhile, Miguel still trying to force a move past Hirio. He's burning overtake, but he just does not have the space to get even close.
Havina's off again.
Yeah, Havina has now been lapped by the entire field. Not his day at all. He would have been hoping for much better than that.
That is not. It's not the day PA4 we're looking for, really.
Yeah, DNF and lapped by the entire field is not great. Especially after last and second last in qualifying. Really not a good race for them, unfortunately.
Really close to their own now.
Yeah, Impact has a good chance to go for move in the final lap.
Little moment for Impact.
You need to keep an eye on Guyton though, he is currently in turn 3 and you have to make sure I don't miss the him crossing the line. Of course I want to honor his drive, given the moment. We didn't see much of him after the rain came down, he wasn't on screen much because there simply was not much happening on his screen. He's just driving away from everyone. In complete control of the race. Impact. Is he now going to be able to go for the move on Jerome? Is he close enough to get past him? He's burning overtake, but so is Jerome. I think Jerome is being covered for at least one more corner. But Jerome with a major mistake! Loses the car, but in doing so blocks Impact off. Meanwhile, Guyton going from the final 2 corners here of the Austrian Grand Prix. And what a drive from him. What an amazing strategy as well. Impact's gotten past Jerome in the meantime, but it's Guyton, your race winner here at Austria, followed by Chris in 2nd place, and then Henke, who is coming out the final corner now in 3rd place. Jerome and Impact side by side here from the middle sector. Have to keep an eye on this as Jerome moves back ahead of the AC driver. Henke's crossing the line. And what a drive from those top 3 drivers, Henke, Chris, and especially Guyton. Amazing drives. 21 seconds to capture Jerome. As Jerome is now being attacked by Impact round yet to the final corner. Impact tries to stream the switchback, but Jerome hasn't covered. And Jerome has just about managed to hang on to P4 at the end. Crossing the line in 4th place, Impact in 5th.
Miguel's fun.
At the final corner, Miguel is spun. P5 and 6 for AC, Wessel in 7th, Pincio in 8th, Yele in 9th, and Miguel is even gonna lose P10 to Ps. Miguel in P11, Dan in P12, and Cameron, the only one still going, in P13 now. Sweet Crown and Arena lapped in P14 and 15. DNFs for Aaron, Hülkenberg, and Volcano. Your driver of the day, Pincio, but he definitely had a great drive. He came through from the back, but I would give it to Guyton, and I don't think there's any debate.
Yeah, dominant, to put it simply.
Yeah, a dominant performance by Guyton. As soon as the rain came down, he left Chris and Henke in the dust and never looked back.
Something about a Dutchman in Austria.
And a race win for X here. And I mean, you have to say, Chris and Henke, great driving as well. They were very, very fast, but Guyton made him look like amateurs. He just flew away at the front. 9 seconds in the end to Chris, 15 to Henke, and 37 to P4. A 37-second gap from P1 to P4. That is not something you see in these events, of this sort, at all. Never. You never see this. But yeah, what a drive. And your entire top 10, Guyton, Chris, Henke, Jerome, Impact, Hero, Wessel, Pincio, Yale, and Peace, of course. Provisional before any steward supports. And the fastest lap going to Sweet Crown in P14 for Relentless. That has been the Austrian Grand Prix. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think probably the best race in the season so far.
Yeah, until the rain, there was action everywhere we looked.
Yeah, the rain kind of killed it even. I'm honestly a bit annoyed the rain came down. Would have been better just to keep it dry, but yeah, what a race. Any final words from you?
And just congrats to Guyton and X, obviously, for getting the race win. Just absolute dominance from them today. And I'm sure you'll be happy yourself, obviously, being part of the team.
Yeah, I can tell we are very, very happy with this result. And yeah, a great race to commentate on. And hope you'll be joining us again for the next race in the Esports division, which will be it's a bit of a break now with real life Formula 1 back on. Our next race will be on the 14th of October in Canada, as always at 3 PM UK. And yeah, our next season in our normal league starting on the 21st of October in Division 1 and 25th of October in Division 2. So I hope you're looking forward to those races as well. Have a good evening, and goodbye.